In late October, protest over Tanzania's election brought the Port of Dar es Salaam to a standstill. Fuel ran out in Malawi, fertilizer shipments froze in Zambia, and truck lines stretched for miles at the borders. Southern Africa's trade lifeline choked overnight. But this crisis didn't start at the port. It began at the ballot box. I'm Lenny Mhenga, and in this episode of Africa Perspectives, we're exploring how unrest in Tanzania is choking off a vital economic artery, and why the stability of one port matters to millions. In Malawi's capital, Lilongwe, fuel stations ran dry. Delivery drivers sat in the heat with empty tanks, unable to work. One transport officer said, "You can hardly get fuel anywhere." Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and the DRC depend on Tanzania's ports for about 60% of their trade. Fuel, fertilizer, cars, medicines all move through Dar es Salaam. But when customs offices were looted and communication lines went down, everything stopped moving. Economist Christopher Mbukwa in Malawi warns that if imports don't resume soon, prices will soar. Without fertilizer, food production drops, and families already struggling will feel the pressure. In Harare, car importer Trice Chisamba had vehicles stuck at the port, unable to reach their clearing agents due to the communications blackout. She feared they'd be destroyed. There are alternatives through Mozambique or South Africa, but they come at a higher cost. In the end, it's governments, businesses, and ordinary citizens who pay the price. This crisis didn't start at the port, it started at the ballot box. The SADC observer mission said Tanzania's polls fell short of democratic standards. Reports of ballot stuffing, restricted opposition rallies, and an internet blackout raised serious questions about legitimacy. Human rights groups claim hundreds were killed during the unrest, which the government denies. President Samia Suluhu Hassan was declared the winner with nearly 98% of the vote, but many questioned the process after the main opposition parties were barred from running. Human rights lawyer Tito Magoti in Dar es Salaam said, "The government she forms is illegitimate, parliament is illegitimate, the people's voices won't be heard." At the inauguration, only 2 presidents attended. Some saw that as a trade-first move, others as a gesture of quiet diplomacy to keep regional ties intact. South Africa, set to take over as SADC chair, has remained silent. But silence won't fix this. Political trust and regional trade are deeply linked. Tanzania's election crisis is a stark reminder that political instability doesn't stop at the border. When democracy falters, economies across the region feel the shock. For years, SADC has dreamed of a smart trade corridor to boost growth and create jobs across southern Africa. But that dream depends on trust in governance and institutions that work. So how can the region keep trade moving when politics get messy? And how do we hold leaders accountable without shutting down the lifelines that keep millions afloat? Tanzania's story reminds us that democracy isn't just about votes, it's about livelihoods. It's about whether people can get fuel, food, and fertilizer when they need them. I'm Lenny Mhenga, and this is Africa Perspectives, bringing you the story, the context, and why it matters.